Good morning and welcome to the Standing Committee meeting for Wednesday, October 6, 2021. Council will continue to meet in a hybrid format until further notice. We encourage speakers to continue registering and speaking virtually, as there will be limited numbers of seats available in council chambers. Our first order of business is public comment, and I would like to remind all speakers that the rules of council state that comments are limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation which are or may be before city council, and profanity will not be permitted. Once called, please state your name and neighborhood for the record. Our first speaker is Naomi Mullen, followed by Ikehana Haumaukina.
Morning, can you hear me?
Yes.
Naomi Mullen from Bon Air. Shady trees, not shady deals in Bon Air. Thank you, Dr. Ronald Miller, for your tenacious pursuit of achieving integrity in the election process. Again, I reiterate the significant community concern that reached a high pitch at our well-attended town hall meeting. Not only was Gregory development rejected, but any high-density or commercial project is a no-go. The school board is thwarting community opposition through non-compliance with policy. Theft by deception is in progress. Our estates are at risk of serious devaluation. Official oppression is afoot. The Board of Education can stop the sale of the school due to fraudulent information. If the Board of Directors does a second vote, we, the people of Bon Air, can see who individually opposes out the property owners. Public servants who prefer to be tyrants are exposing tax monies to liability by non-compliance with policy and careless, harmful decisions. Speeches to council and the board have continued for months regarding the significant community concern in Bon Air. My sincere, consistent request is that City Council create a resolution to block zoning change and support a green space to replace Bon Air's school building. Do your part for the environment. Reduce urban heat. Reduce watershed to Route 51. Increase green space to benefit all ages and stages. Protect the children at the playground across the street. Let's make it wheelchair accessible to allow those who have difficult access to nature the ability to enjoy it. Tear down detrimental problem buildings, not safe, stable neighborhoods. You want to reduce watershed to Route 51, and this is your opportunity to help that need. Shady trees, not shady deals in Bon Air. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Ikehana Haumaukina, followed by Dr. Miller.
Greetings and good day. My title is Ikehana Haumaukina. I'm the Grand Inca of the Iroquois Confederacy of Aborigine American People, i.e. Indians. I'd like to use my 3 minutes to cover various topics of concern. First on my list of concerns is the influx of Afghan refugees into the United States, to which Pennsylvania will receive over 1,000. And of that 1,000, approximately 200 will be coming to this area. How do you, as a city, decide to take on 200 additional people when you have not addressed the issues and concerns of housing here for your citizens/residents? Thousands, if not hundreds, of Haitian Americans were turned down and not considered in this equation of being refugees, for they are the very people who are also Americans and border. They are our island. They're an American island. But yet you're going across oceans to receive people from Afghanistan. I'm concerned about the people of here who are homeless and don't have housing. And so why aren't these issues being addressed? Next on my list of concerns that is very troubling to me, that you all think it's okay to restrict the freedom of speech to violate and continuously violate the First Amendment of the Constitution by sticking your little watchdog / sergeant of arms on people to silence them. Ms. Brown is speaking as a voice for the people, and she's using her First Amendment right and her freedom of speech to do so. I've seen her speak. She inspires me, and she's never been threatening to no one on your council. The freedom of speech is the supreme law of the land. Uphold your oath to the Constitution and allow her to speak. She is a senior citizen, and having your sergeant of arms standing over her with the threat of silencing her or removing her voice is an extreme concern to the people. I urge Ms. Brown to look into the ACLU for constitutional violations. She deserves her 3 minutes to speak her piece onto the record and poses no threat to anyone. In regards to yesterday, I've spoken about the raid that took place in the Hill District. Thank you for adhering to my request, but I just want to remind you you're a little bit too late. The crime scene has been breached. You left that young man's teeth inside of that home. You left body parts.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Dr. Ronald Miller, followed by Kento Omari.
Dr. Ronald N. Miller, Beltsuver and Downtown, Global Intelligence Society candidate for mayor 2021, PPG supremacist, $1 billion a year in profit. We believe in achievement over ascription for gaining office. A concern of Pittsburgh City Council is with agenda items leading to city ordinances or local laws. Is Democratic Party dominated Pittsburgh Council ordinance making underpinned by the information and intelligence of woke ideology, opposing claimed systemic sexism, racism, and ethnocentrism in U.S. American society? I think so. Sexism done by males against females in the USA, racism and ethnocentrism by white European Americans against Black, African, Gold Asian, Bronze, Latin, Copper, Native Americans primarily. Many of us think that this ideology combines anti-male, pro-female supremacist ideology. It's bad to be a male, good to be a female, or at least better, and anti-white, pro-Black, Gold, Bronze, Copper, supremacist ideologies. It's bad to be white, alienating a whole generation of young U.S. American males, especially white males. They feel like McAvoy's Simon to Rosario Dawson's Elizabeth in the extraordinary film Trance. But so what? Many worldwide, no exceptions in my experience outside the United States, think as U.S. Americans that we are U.S. national supremacists. Of the USA, we hear the USA has the best economy, the best military, best university system, and so on. In other words, the best, most supreme nation in the world. Of Pittsburgh, we have heard Pittsburgh, the most livable city in the USA, right? Isn't this a Pittsburgh city supremacist position? I think so. U.S. Americans accept the challenge of competition to be the best or to be supreme at something. Well then, 30,000 Pittsburgh young males may think if it is all right for councilors Strasburger and Gross to be female supremacists, they can't be denied the right to be male supremacists. 20,000 Pittsburgh white males to be white male supremacists. We need a leveling of the opportunity field, in my view, to compete to achieve supremacy for anybody. Worker number one, male, no child on site, costs nothing for childcare. Worker number two, female child on site, costs the economy of the corporation, of the state of Pennsylvania, of the US federal government, something. Claiming an economic plus for on-site daycare, as Strasburger and Gross did last week, when it is an economic minus, is a lie.
Our next speaker is Kento Omari.
There we go. I found my unmute button. Kento Omori, Fukui Architects, downtown, working on a project in Baum Boulevard, Shadyside. Have before you an encroachment permit 2021-01090. I wanted to make sure I was available if there was any questions. Also, having gone through the permit process, by the way, this is for an ADA accessible ramp on an existing building that has a step up, which is pretty common in the city. It does seem like the process was a little bit convoluted. I know the city in the past has attempted to simplify that. These permits often go through DOMI, zoning, and PLI. I have a fair amount of experience with that. I'm capable of navigating it, but to make this city more accessible, it seems like that process could be more simplified. I'm also willing to donate some of my time if that helps that process. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That exhausts, our list of registered speakers. Are there any speakers in chambers which wish to speak before council? Please come up to the podium, give your name and neighborhood for the record.
Good morning. My name is Yvonne F. Brown. I live in the Hill District and KU Irvis Tires. I'm going to deviate from what I've been talking about, that we need security in the building for the seniors. I want to bring forth something that is troubling me. I have a granddaughter that attends the Pittsburgh public school system. She has a speech impediment, so she's already at a loss. She came to school, the teacher was teaching. She put up her hand to ask the question, and he turned to her and said, if you had made it on time, you would know the answer. Now, I want you to understand, and the teachers, that the children cannot get to school themselves. She's 8 years old. She already has a speech impediment. She's trying as hard as she can, and you have a teacher to tell her if you're on time. If you have something to say about the time they're coming, then you talk to the parents, not the child. I had to sit and talk to my grandbaby. I said, don't worry about what the teacher said. I said, I was one in school that would ask questions all the time. I had a good teacher. I remember one time said, oh, Yvonne has a question. Very good, Yvonne. How many don't understand? And the whole room just about put your hands up. So I told my grandbaby, there's people that don't understand. Don't feel bad that you ask questions. That's what we come for. And I want to change the subject, and I want to speak directly to Mr. Burgess. Mr. Burgess, I have been really upset about when you stopped me from questioning Miss Gross. When I was questioning her, and then you told me that I'm not allowed to ask her, not allowed to talk to her that way. I would have kept on. But as I seen the sergeant of arms moving to come to put me out, because you know you just do that, I am upset about the school's teachers. My grandchild's not the only child that the school teacher told them about being late. That's not the child's fault. You call the parent in. I am fighting for our young children. I still say, if they had been white kids that they shot in that building, that gas, they wouldn't have done it. The black kids, little babies, eyes swollen, throwing up. And do you realize that may affect them for the rest of their life? They're breathing. You put on gas masks when you shoot that in, but these babies didn't have it. No way it should be. And then the mayor, where were you at, mayor? You didn't have to be there when they were shooting it, but you could have been in the car somewhere looking. You're still the mayor, even though we're going to have a new election and we'll have another mayor. But mayor, you've let me down.
Thank you. Any further speakers?
Yes.
Okay, good morning. My name is Louise Poe, and I'm a resident of Leroy Irvis. And I had sent a letter to Councilman Lavelle, Mayor Peduto, a couple other ones. And first of all, let me apologize. I have not a speech impediment. I have mild cognitive impairment. So there's some words I can't remember. They won't come up. But the only thing I'm asking is, as a senior now, I'm 83 years old. I've always lived in a home. Now I'm living in a senior high rise. Since I've been there, they're eliminating our security. Okay, we only had security at night because that's when most of us are sleeping. And everybody knows the seniors are our targets for people that have bad ideas. They think we got medicine, they think we got money, and they have ways of getting in. So with the money that K. Leroy Irvis Towers management and owner are making, I'm sure they can supply some security to us at night at least. In the daytime, at least we can look out for one another. But at night, we need security. And I had mentioned a few things about what the security could do. And I was told that the management said that security doesn't have medical degrees. Well, I feel as though you don't have to have a medical degree to try to save somebody's life if they're having a medical problem. So I think that's a poor excuse. And I think they are making some profit off that building. They have 1,200 apartments there, even though they have HUD, and we appreciate that. But at least we pay our rent, we've paid our taxes, we raised our kids, we've lived here, we've worked, we're at the last stages of our life. Like I explained, all we're looking for is to enjoy the rest of our little bit of life we have left and feel secure in our homes. And I don't think that's too much to ask. So I'm asking if something can be done to help us to get our security back at night. Thank you.
Any other speakers before council today? Last call. Any other speakers? Seeing none, we'll now move on to our standing committee agenda. Would the clerk please take the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Here.
Mr. Coghill.
Here.
Ms. Gross.
Here.
Mr. Kraus.
Here.
Mr. O'Connor. Mrs. Cal Smith. Ms. Strasburger.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Mr. Lavelle, Chair.
Here.
8 members present.
Thank you. Our first committee is Finance and Law, chaired by myself. Our first supplemental paper is Bill 1968.
Bill 1968, resolution further amending resolution number 93, providing for an agreement and/or contracts for the purchase of materials, supplies, equipment, and/or services for various projects in connection with the City Council Neighborhood Needs Program in Council District 3, and providing for the payment of costs by transferring $2,500 to the Southside Community Council. Total cost of all 3 district neighborhood needs project is not to exceed $51,943.77.
Can we read Bill 1969 too?
Bill 1969, resolution further amending and supplementing resolution number 855 entitled Adopting and Approving the 2012 Budget by adding Southside Community Council $2,500 within District 3 neighborhood needs.
Motion to approve. Second. Very brief discussion. These are a reallocation of neighborhood needs monies to the Southside Community Council to do improvements to the small parklet that they maintain at 11.
Speak in the mic.
Well, I'm sorry, forgive me. I know better. This is reallocation of neighborhood needs monies to the Southside Community Council to do some improvements at a little parklet that they maintain at 11th and Carson. So thanks for your support. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Bills are recommended. Our first deferred paper is Bill 1830.
Bill 1830, resolution authorizing the issuing of a warrant in favor of D. Apollonia Engineering Division of Ground Technology, Inc. in the amount of $7,039.68 for expert services relating to a case filed in the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas.
Motion to approve, please.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 1894.
Bill 1894, resolution amending Resolution 345, which authorized the mayor and the city solicitor to enter into a professional services agreement with Fox Rothschild for professional consulting and legal services in relation to False Claim Act litigation by increasing the total spend by $15,000 for a new not to exceed amount of $295,000.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 1895.
Bill 1895, resolution repealing items and resolutions approved on various dates, which authorize the sale of property in various wards of the city due to an incompletion of sale, items A through D. 6824 Fifth, 502 Winterburn, 2145 Mazet, 1936 Noblestown.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. New papers. Bill 1931.
Bill 1931, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of George W. Powell in the amount of $3,403.76 in settlement of a claim for damage to a parked vehicle from a city environmental services vehicle backing into it on December 17, 2020.
Approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 1940.
Bill 1940, ordinance amending the fee sections of the city code at multiple locations to reflect current practices and to bring those sections into compliance with Chapter 170 fees.
Motion to approve. Discussion.
Yes, second. Madam Clerk, I'm sorry, did you miss 1941?
No, we're on 1940.
I'm sorry, forgive me, I'm sorry.
No problem. So Council President is not here, but I can briefly explain, 'cause I do know what the bill is, if that's okay with members.
Mhm.
I think it was in 2015, Councilman Gann Gilman at the time wrote an ordinance that said council has to approve all fee schedules every single year. However, in the ordinance he wrote, he missed a number of places where the fee schedule still was present. So this bill simply cleans that up, and everywhere that it's mentioned, it's over 30 places throughout the code that says council still has to approve those fee schedules. So it's just making it consistent. He's done it as chief of staff, but this will ensure moving forward, we still have to approve all fee schedules everywhere it's mentioned in the code.
I'm good.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 1941.
Bill 1941, ordinance amending the city code at Title II, Fiscal Article 1, Administration, in order to make technical corrections in chapters 218 and 219 related to past events that no longer exist.
Motion to approve, brief discussion.
Second.
Mr. Chair, can you just give us a brief overview of what chapters 218 and 219 are?
This removes temporary provisions related to the COVID-19. So as you'll make, and ICA, because there's a couple of places where it references the ICA, which is no longer involved. And as members will recall, during the pandemic, we amended our code to say we could reduce our fee schedule below 10%. We need to now, which is how we survived, because we had a temporary fund, excuse me, not a fee schedule. Our temporary fund always had to be at 10%.
I remember.
We amended to say we could go below it so we could pay our bills. This now says we now have to go back to 10%, which is the fiscally responsible thing for us to do.
On board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 1942.
Bill 1942, ordinance amending and updating the city code at a number of locations to repeal boards, commissions, committees, councils, special meetings, and task forces that functionally no longer exist, and to remove references to boards, commissions, councils, special meetings, and task forces that have previously been repealed.
Motion to approve, very brief discussion.
Second.
Councilman, you go first.
Yes, this is all these, the last three bills are all connected. They were drafted in part with the council budget office, and it's simply cleaned up the code. In this case, we're getting rid of defunct boards and commissions that no longer exist.
This was very helpful. I had my reservations, because there,
Yes.
just for the edification of everyone, the technical cleanup here was quite extensive, but the summary was very helpful in explaining the outdated commissions that no longer meet or have no appointments to them. So I'm happy to support.
Motion to amend.
It was seconded. Councilman Burgess.
No, the amendment just, we unintentionally took some things, well, the budget office unintentionally took some things out. We have to put back in. That's all. It's very, very technical in nature.
Any further discussion on the amendment? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 The amendment passes. Any discussion on the bill as amended?
I do have a question. So this effectively gets rid of section 11. So if we want to motion and create another board authority.
No, the
Commission.
opposite. This doesn't get rid of it. Which struck means we're not taking it out of the code. Anything in the amendment that has a line strike means we are not taking it out. We're leaving it in. So this amendment strikes this from the original bill that took it out. It means it's not taken out.
Does that make sense, Councilman? It's confusing, but it actually makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't take it out. It
Yeah.
keeps it in. Everything you see struck means we're keeping it in.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 1943.
That's the question.
Bill 1943, ordinance supplementing the Pittsburgh Code at Title I, Administrative Article 11, Human Resources, Chapter 182, Pensions, by adding subsection 19023, so as to add language to allow for elimination of the Social Security offset for municipal employees.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I believe this one actually needs held 1 week.
It's all come together. Okay. The other bills.
There were companion bills that were introduced yesterday. So if we hold it for 1 week, we can do all 3 bills.
I'll
next week.
rescind my motion to approve and motion to hold 1 week.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? It will be held 1 week. That moves us to invoices. We need a motion to approve the invoices.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Invoices are approved. Need a motion to approve the P cards.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? P cards are approved. That takes us to Public Safety Services Committee chaired by Councilman O'Connor. One new paper, Bill 1932.
Bill 1932, resolution amending resolution number 534, authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Safety on behalf of the city to enter into an amended agreement with the United States Department of Justice to receive monies from the 2018 Burn Justice Assistant Grant Program, and further authorizing legitimate expenditures by the Bureau of Police for purchases authorized by the amended grant agreement and for the execution of agreement or contracts for any equipment or services required in connection with the execution of said grant. Said amended agreement shall not exceed $117,219.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bill is recommended. That takes us to Public Works Committee chaired by Councilman Coghill. First supplemental paper, 1963.
Bill 1963, resolution authorizing the mayor and directors of the Department of Public Works and the Department of Finance on behalf of the city to execute a declaration of restrictions and covenants over a certain city parcel known as Sheridan Park Ravine. 1, to provide notice and to ensure the operation and maintenance and necessary access to operation and maintenance of the post-construction stormwater management best management practices on the property. And 2, to prevent the use or development of the property in any manner that may impair or conflict with the operation and maintenance of the post-construction stormwater management best management practices as required by law.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 1964.
Bill 1964, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Works to enter into a license agreement with the University of Pittsburgh on behalf of the Steam Lines Management Committee and/or owners of common steam distribution lines and equipment connected to the Belfield Boiler Plant to in order permit the replacement of an existing steam line at the rear of the plant and to perform supporting site work for the benefit of Shenley Park.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 1920.
Bill 1920, resolution amending and supplementing resolution number 567, originally entitled Resolution Amending and Supplementing Resolution number 40, providing for a contract and/or agreements for the design and replacement of the Charles Anderson Bridge and providing for a reimbursement agreement with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Transportation and providing for the payment not to exceed $965,794.03 to add further budget authority for a letter of amendment to the original reimbursement agreement not to exceed a total of $967,044.03. This resolution increases the authorized not to exceed amount to $1,175,324.66 and names Michael Baker as the professional services provider for this work.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Got me all confused, Council.
Seeing none,
Ron,
all those in
second.
favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 1921.
Bill 1921, resolution providing for a further amended reimbursement agreement with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for costs associated with the Charles Anderson Bridge project, providing for the payment of costs not to exceed $3,690,000, an increase of $2,505,000 to increase the project's budget for preliminary engineering and to add budgets for final design and right-of-way phases. The previous amendment to Agreement 51-544 was authorized by Resolution 567 of 2019.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
Mayor,
Seeing- Yeah, Councilwoman Gross?
I don't know where the Charles Anderson Bridge, I just wanted to know, so this is like $1 million over budget in the planning phase?
We have a councilwoman.
Yeah, Councilwoman, I can tell you where it is. It's when you're on the Boulevard of the Allies, leaving town, and you approach the Shenley Park swimming pool on your right.
Got
So that's the one, and it's been discussed either a full demo or a rehab, and I think that's kind of looking at multiple ways of doing that right now, and that's what Baker's been doing.
Okay, so the goal is just to kind of keep it back, replace it, being consistent with park design and.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, it'll be to its original nature, like how it would fit in the park as the one going towards Phipps, sort of on the same boulevard there. So it would have all that nature. I think the issue is, do you do a full-blown demo or a reconstruction? So that's kind of where we're stuck.
So, got it. So like when you're at the end of the Boulevard of the Allies, right at South Oakland.
Yes.
Got it.
Councilman and I share it.
Thank you. Got
Thank
it.
you.
I think I've got it now. That's all the questions I have.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 1922.
Bill 1922, resolution granting unto Luxury Property Group East Liberty LLC, their successors, and assigns the privilege and license to construct, maintain, and use at their own cost and expense a canopy at 6012 Center Avenue, 7th Ward, 8th Council District.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 1924.
23.
23.
Bill 1923, resolution authorizing the mayor and the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to enter into an agreement with the PA Department of Community and Economic Development Multi-Module Transportation Fund Program, should the grant be awarded by DCED to provide funding for the South 21st Street Complete Green Street Project. The grant proposal includes an ask of $3 million with a local match of $473,618 to be contributed by the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority. In the event the grant is awarded, this resolution provides for an agreement and expenditures not to exceed $3,473,618.
Motion to approve.
Yeah, second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 1924.
Bill 1924, resolution authorizing the mayor and the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to submit an application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development Multi-Module Transportation Fund Program to provide funding for Second Avenue Streetscape Project. The grant proposal includes an ask of $2,105,118 with no local match required. In event the grant is awarded, this resolution provides for an agreement and expenditures not to exceed $2,105,118.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 1925.
Bill 1925, resolution authorizing the mayor and the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to submit an application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development Multi-Module Transportation Fund Program for the Center Avenue Streetscape Project. The grant proposal includes an ask of $2,987,125.37 with no local match required. In the event the grant is awarded, this resolution provides for an agreement and expenditures not to exceed $2,987,125.37.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 1926.
Bill 1926, resolution granting unto Katselas Tasso G Living Trust their successors and assigns the privilege and license to construct, maintain, and use at their own cost and expense a new steel awning, 2 tree pits along Center Avenue and 4 tree pits along Moorwood Avenue at 4951 Center Avenue in the 8th Ward, 7th Council District.
To approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 1927.
Bill 1927, resolution granting unto HTA Federal North Mob LLC and their successors and assigns the privilege and license to construct, maintain, and use at their own cost and expense 3 new canopy-covered awnings on an existing building at 1219 Federal Street in the 1st Ward, 22nd Council District.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bill is recommended. That moves us to Land Use and Economic Development, chaired by Councilman Wilson. Our deferred paper is Bill 1867.
Bill 1867, ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code Title 5, Traffic Article 7, Parking, Chapter 549, Residential Parking Permit Program, so as to clarify the administrative process for the program, provide for virtual permitting, add the permit fees to the city's annual fee book, adopt regulations for the use of visitors' permits and non-resident permits, and create the hybrid RPP area program.
Motion to hold for cablecast public hearing, brief discussion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Brief discussion.
Oh,
And then we'll hold.
rescind that.
What's the motion?
He's withdrawing his motion to hold.
For cablecast public hearing.
Motion to approve.
All right. And then motion to approve, brief discussion.
And I'll second. Can I just real
Discussion,
brief?
Councilman.
Can I start off?
Yeah, please.
All right. So I think most members are familiar with, about 3 years ago, the idea of updating this code was necessary. And whenever I took over the committee, of the land use. I just wanted to know what was still in the hopper and brought this back and been working with all parties to update this code. The main feature here is to make this a reliable code. I think that's the language I want to use because currently we have to update by code every 4 years, each permitting district. And that is a big undertaking for all city planning currently. And so this code would give responsibilities to not only the appropriate parties, but also the departments and also give some responsibility to the parking authority. But really this brings it into, this updates the code so that the law is effective. I'm finished.
Yeah. So, Mr. Chair, may I?
Councilman Kraus?
Yeah. I attended the public meeting last night hosted by the planning department to discuss changes to RPP. They're maybe extensive is too strong a word, but they're substantive, but they were largely accepted quite unilaterally. There were some questions and some tweaks here and there that people wish to see. But, anytime you have a public meeting to talk about parking, you can only imagine how quickly it would go off the rails, but it didn't. It was really quite contributing. I would like to suggest, and I'll leave this up to the committee chair, that we have a post agenda before we do our public hearing, just to have parking authority and planning come and explain to council in detail the changes that are being suggested to the RP program. I thought many of them were really quite innovative. Some gave me pause, and some might be a little more specific to council districts and their needs, depending on what your parking need is. But there seemed to be a willingness to tweak and fluctuate according to council districts. So I think after witnessing what I witnessed last night, I think it could be very helpful for members to be able to see in the format of a post agenda what is being proposed. Would you be all right?
Not opposed to it. Happy to, chair it as well.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to make that motion?
Yeah,
Unless there's other discussion.
yeah, motion to hold for Cablecast post agenda as well as then public hearing.
Second.
I was gonna say, can you just make one motion and then just schedule around it? So you motion for both at this, well, you also have to hold for the public.
We got to hold for the Cablecast public hearing first. Was it?
Oh, sorry.
So Councilman Kraus motioned to hold for a Cablecast public hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, no.
Post agenda. I apologize.
All for both.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yeah, thanks for being
The
flexible.
bill will be held for Cablecast post agenda and public hearing. Apologize. All right, so that moves us to our new papers, Bill 1933.
Bill 1933, resolution providing for an agreement with the Jewish Healthcare Foundation to provide administration and operating expenses, housing, and housing-related supportive services to persons with HIV/AIDS and their families at a cost not to exceed $1,202,295.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 1934.
Bill 1934, resolution further amending resolution number 797 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2018 Capital Budget, the 2018 CDBG Program, and the 2018 through 2023 Capital Improvement Program so as to reduce community-based organizations by $15,000, increase neighborhood economic development by $15,000, and authorize a subsequent agreement.
Motion to approve.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 1935.
Bill 1935, resolution further amending resolution number 816 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2016 Capital Budget, the 2016 CDBG Program, and approving the 2016 through 2021 Capital Improvement Program so as to reduce community-based organizations by $7,609.82, increase neighborhood economic development by $7,609.82, and authorize a subsequent agreement.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just briefly, do they say who the community organizations are? It's probably in our text file.
Mm,
I just think that when they send these up, they should specify who the community groups are so that we know what we're voting on. Not just on the text file, but on this page.
I believe we have Mr. Finstrom here with us today.
I don't want to hear from, I'd like the answer before final vote next
I'm
one.
looking it up right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we'll get you the information before Tuesday.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 1936.
Bill 1936 ordinance accepting a new street name, Laura Court, in the 6th Ward of the city as per recommendation by the City of Pittsburgh's Addressing Committee. The following street name was approved by CPAC in February of 2021. The name listed in this ordinance shall be made official in accordance with the Pittsburgh Code Title IV, Public Places and Property, Chapter 420, Uniform Street Naming and Addressing.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bill is recommended. That moves us to Innovation Performance Asset Management Committee chaired by Councilwoman Strasburger. One new paper, Bill 1937.
Bill 1937, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Innovation and Performance to enter into startup participation agreements with selected entities as part of the 7th cohort of PGH Lab, and further authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Innovation and Performance to enter into program participation agreements with local municipal entities to allow such entities to test products and services as part through PGH Lab.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Now it's for Intergovernmental Affairs Committee chaired by Councilwoman Gross. First new paper, Bill 1929.
Bill 1929, resolution adopting the plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewer facilities plan for 635 Smithfield Street renovations project, which will involve the development of a 47 multi-unit apartment complex with the first floor devoted to restaurant and office space. The site address is 635 Smithfield Street in the 6th Ward.
Motion to approve.
Second. Just trying to figure out where this is.
Any discussion?
No.
If seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 1930.
Bill 1930, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewer facilities plan for the proposed Recreation and Wellness Center and Hillside Housing Project located on the University of Pittsburgh campus along O'Hara Street and University Drive A.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Bill is recommended. That exhausts our agenda for today. Our meeting announcements are that next week, council will hold our regular and standing committee meetings on Tuesday, October 12th and Wednesday, October 13th, respectively at 10 a.m. Speaker registration closes at 9 a.m. the morning of these meetings. To register to speak at next week's meetings, fill out the sign-up form on the council meeting webpage by the registration deadlines. You may also call the city clerk's office at 412-255-2138 or email city clerk's office at Pittsburgh, PA. Any announcements from members? President Smith.
I just want to offer our condolences in a moment of silence for both Sal Moranti's family and to little blank. The events. Ralph Watson. I apologize.
Oh, Ralph Watson. Yeah.
Sorry. Total.
Say something.
Yeah, I just want to offer our condolences, do a moment of silence for both of them. They both added a lot to Pittsburgh and to the Pittsburgh the culture of Pittsburgh, and when people worked together and cared about one another and was a little bit kinder, gentler place to live. I just want to
Salvatore Marianti.
Salvatore and Ralph Watson. Yes.
Yeah, Marianti. Salvatore.
Yes.
What?
Last week.
Yeah, he was an institution in Oakland.
Absolutely. I'm going to tell you a story about him, but go ahead.
Marianti Grosseria on Bates is this wonderful little Italian market that he had found and has been run by his family forever. And Salvatore was just an institution in Oakland and one of the kindest, most pleasant people I've ever met in my life. And you see him on the street and he just beams and he comes up and he hugs you and he wants to talk to you and tell you all about life and what's going on. And do you know how old he was when he passed? He had to be well into
I don't know.
It didn't say.
I know he was in his 90s. I think John Chapman knows. Let me text him.
Okay. But I got that notification last night. I'm assuming all members got that, but I was really shocked to hear that he had passed. I had no idea that he had. It's a great loss to Oakland community.
It truly is. Anybody else want to say anything? I'm just going to say that he did so much for the city of Pittsburgh, and our families were very close. And John Chapman, who works in our special events office, extremely close to him, is same as Mayor Bill Peduto. But I just want to say that I think he is the whole story of, a great story about coming to America, loving the country, going through such struggles and diversity, and yet maintaining such a positive attitude, and so grateful for everything that he had. But I think, and Ralph Watson has done a lot for the city of Pittsburgh, making sure that he acknowledged and recognized a lot of people over the years. And I think that both men deserve a moment of silence in our condolences to their family.
Yeah.
Anything else from members? Not motion to, Councilman Burgess.
Yes, if council would indulge me for just a moment. I've said this privately to many of the members. I guess I'll say this publicly, so there is a recorded record of it. Recently, I have been humbled to be elected moderator of the Allegheny Union Baptist Association. For Baptists, that is our equivalent to bishop. It is a 4-year appointment of which I will oversee 140 Baptist churches in our region to work with them and to encourage their pastor and people. I was a little surprised, but again, humbled by this election. And I have endeavored since being appointed and elected to really center on what is important to me as a faith leader. I believe the greatest sermon that Martin Luther King ever preached was on the drum major instinct at the Ebenezer Baptist Church, where he talks about a new definition of greatness. And he says that, Jesus says, the greatest among you shall be your servant. And he said that everybody could be great because everybody can serve. And so that is my endeavor. I have reaffirmed and recommitted myself to this endeavor of service and of being a servant. I have shared this idea with members of council and even with Democratic nominee Ed Gainey. My view of life is that of service. And in terms of this city, I have endeavored to, in my little way, to make this city great. I believe that a strong mayor and a strong council build a stronger city. Recently, I have been a part of council leadership to introduce legislation that has declared housing as a human rights benefit. We've talked about eliminating the pension offset and other changes. But I just want to serve. I have no personal or ambition. I think I talked out to Mr. Coghill and to Erica Strasburger. I want to serve. I believe that we can be a great city. I believe in universal pre-K, and I believe in universal health care. I believe in women's right to choose. I believe in living wage jobs. I believe in eliminating racism and sexism and militarism and discrimination of every kind. And so as council person, I want to be served. I want to be of service, and to any member of council and to any member of the public, that my gifts and talents can be used to be a blessing. I stand ready to do that. Lastly, I think, and I have been a member of council for 14 years. I'm along with Councilman Cross. He and I are, he's not here, but we're like an old married couple, right? We love each other sometimes, we hate each other sometimes, but we are still the old men on council. And despite our fussing, we vote together probably 99% of the time. We are almost always on the same issues. I want to suggest that council and my love for council comes from really my study of history and my study of government. I believe council plays an extremely important part of overseeing and providing checks and balances. And so I want to encourage all members of council that they work together to overview and to help lead our city. And I am proud to be part of you and to be your colleague and your friend. And the last thing is I serve leadership. I serve the president of council, its finance chair, and I will do whatever it is they ask me to do, as well as other members. I think together, working together, we make this city better for everybody, not just for my district, but I think the goal is to make the city better for every person and for every district. And so I just wanted to sort of say on record in public, sort of my view of things. And I stand willing to help and to serve anybody who asks. Thank you for this moment and for this indulgement.
Thank you, President Smith.
Thank you. And I just want to respond a little bit to what you said. I'm glad you're saying it, but for years, I think a lot of people are trying to spin the story of council becoming stronger, council taking more of a lead, and doing the job we were actually elected to do. When the question should be not why are we doing it, the question should be why is it taking us so long to do it? I have been saying this since I've been elected. I do not understand why council doesn't stand together and use our strength to work for our city, for the betterment of our city as a whole. Because I think a strong council gets the best results for the public. For years, I've asked, and many of my colleagues, I've had the conversations with many of you privately. I didn't understand why we would not stand together. And I'm not going to apologize for doing our job. I'm not going to allow people to spin a story to make it sound as if council is trying to do something more than what we were elected to do. We're doing what we were elected to do. Finally. I mean, honestly, that should be really what the public should be asking, is why has it taken us so long to do this? And the fact of the matter is, after I asked the questions, I found out it was because a lot of people had relationships with previous mayors because they served with one another on council. So now there's a break in that. There's a new administration coming in. Whomever wins the election in November, we want them to be a strong mayor, because without a strong mayor, our city is not strong. We want to see them succeed, because without their success, our city is not successful. But that does not mean that council does not want some checks and balances. It is what we should be doing, collaborating, working together, helping one another to be successful, but overall, making sure we're doing what's in the best interest of our city and our residents as a whole. I think that, you'll hear a lot of people spinning things, but I don't feel that in conversations we've had with, at least myself with Ed Gainey and others were there. And that's if he's the next mayor. He didn't seem at all threatened by the fact that council was doing some things. He actually seems to understand. Now, with that said, if he has some concerns, we'll sit down or whomever is the mayor in November, we'll sit down in January and discuss those concerns and how we can best work together. But that does not mean we're going to weaken council. That doesn't mean that we're not going to do what's in the best interest of the public. And I don't think council members should feel uneasy, but I do think that some of us might feel a little bit uncomfortable because it's unusual to us. It's not something we've done before. We've not stood together like this. But I'll tell you what I learned from a state rep years ago is that the reason the state reps were so strong is because they stood together. So I think if anybody would understand it, it would be somebody coming in from the state level would certainly understand the importance of unity in council's unity. And so I just think with that said, we'll get a lot more accomplished that the residents want. We won't have to wait for things. It will be council driving a lot of what happens. So I would say, don't be afraid. It's what we're going to do for the betterment of the city. Now you have 9 people working together with a mayor instead of one person getting 5 votes and being done with it. And so, we have said that if, members don't stick together and you go make deals and you play games, we're going to make sure those are the things we cut out of the budget because we want to make sure that we stand together for the betterment of the city. And so we want to be strong, but we want to do what is right. And we want to work together with the administration. And I want to thank Reverend Burgess because you have put forth with Councilman Lavelle and myself, and Councilman Lavelle has been a great chair. But you put forth some really strong legislation and helped us with that. And so I want to thank you for using your knowledge to help lift this council up as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Coghill.
Yes. First, I want to congratulate you, Rev. I've said to you in private, I've said to you in public, I feel like you're a good leader and, your church will be well benefited.
Thank you. Thank you.
Secondly, some of the bills you put down recently, the offset pension, fantastic. Very popular with the workers, of course, and myself included. The other thing was, the attorney for council. I think that's a great one too. I'm still mulling over the other bits and parts of other legislation, but, I just wanted to really take the opportunity to congratulate you.
Thank you.
For your role with the church.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your help too.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Any further discussion? If not, motion to approve the minutes and adjourn the meeting.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Thank you.